Hi, this is Benjamin from Estate Diamond Jewelry, and today I want to talk to you about what are no oil treatment emeralds. And at the end of the video, I want to tell you currently what they're selling for and what's today market for them and what actually makes them so special once we see the prices that they achieve. A quick version, what is a no oil emerald? A no oil emerald, what I want to talk about is specifically, I want to talk about Colombian, is a green emerald that has no oil or synthetic any treatment at all. It's just the natural emerald itself. Why are we discussing it? For a lot of reasons. Most of the jewelry industry doesn't know about it, and people outside the jewelry industry definitely don't know about it. No oil emeralds are precious stone, but the top tier of the precious stone. We want to go through the rarity of it. We want to go through the value of it. We want to go through the significance of it, how they're so superior. And us jewelers who specialize in them, we know the value of them, and we're looking to always buy and sell them, and they're really beating inflation, they're really beating the market, and they're really recession proof. And I want to touch on all these things. Let's talk about, generally speaking, what is an emerald. I don't want to go too much with the laboratories or the chemical compounds. We'll do a little bit of it. So an emerald comes from the family of beryl, and what gives its color is chromium and vanadium. Green is the primary color for green emerald, obviously, and it has two secondary colors that come with it. You get a secondary color that could be blue or a secondary color that could be yellow. So it'll always be dominant color green, and there always can be secondary blue or secondary yellow. Colombian emeralds famously have a blue secondary tone if they would have a secondary tone. So they generally have blue. Other mines, they generally will also have blue. They'll also have yellow as well. What makes them important is that the primary color, we want it to be that green color. And there's of course other origins. There's Zambia, there's Brazil, there's a bunch of others that come from everywhere, but they're not valueless. Of course, they have value, they're precious stones. This video is, we're just talking about Colombia, specifically the no oil treated Colombian emeralds. Let's talk about a little bit of the inclusions. Emeralds famously have probably the most inclusions for precious, semi-precious, or they're very much up there. The laboratories, sometimes they call it jardin, which is a garden, as they can have so many different combinations of inclusions. On my top of my head, there's 12 of them. We're not going to go through them, but just to know that what makes them so special is that in general, their chemical structure from the ground, they come out included. It's not so much a durability issue where they become included after. It's more when they're formed in the earth, they're formed with inclusions. Some say it gives it beauty, some gives it characteristics, but that is what makes them so special if they're going to be no oil, how it's going to tackle the issue with avoiding all these inclusions and what makes them so special. I don't want to disqualify the other precious stones. So for emeralds, we have Colombia, which is the most desirable mine, obviously from Colombia. And the no oil treatment will make it the best combination of the two. For rubies, we have Burmese rubies from Burma, Myanmar. And that would cover the ruby category. And the sapphire category, there's two very desirable. I just want to talk about one. And that would be the Kashmir origin non-heated sapphires. So the no oil emerald is compared in value with these three categories: ruby, sapphire, emerald. They all have an elite status. They all have a top tier. It's not common. You're not going to see it. Does everyone need it? No. But if people really like to invest, these are three categories to keep your mind. And again, we just want to talk about green emeralds. Let's just go over oil treatment in general and why emeralds need to be treated with oil. Almost all emeralds are treated with oil, and that's totally fine. It's expected. If anything, you want to buy an emerald, your emerald, 99% chance has some sort of oil treatment. You want that oil treatment for your emerald, most likely for the reason that emeralds have a lot of natural inclusions, and the emerald gives it that durability, so you can keep wearing that emerald no problem. Nulls out the inclusions. You don't want to wear something, maybe you love it and you don't mind it, but most people, when they want to see an emerald, they just want to see that green, that crisp, that green, nothing distracting it. And what that oil does is it'll give it that durability, almost like glue, and it will mute out those inclusions as much as possible. You'll see that the common oil types is cedarwood oil and palm oil, and they put it in a machine with pressure and a little bit of heat, because it's, of course, emerald, you don't want to put too much heat. With a little bit of heat, it'll infuse it in. And there's different emerald grades. There's insignificant, there's minor, there's moderate. Most emeralds have some sort of minor, moderate amount of oil in it. And again, totally expected if you're looking just to buy a general emerald. All origins go through this as well. A newer thing that people are using is something called resin. It's a little more of an aggressive additive to an emerald. It works a little better. People generally don't like resin because it's not natural. People like the idea, okay, if my emerald has a treatment, let it be natural. Don't let it be resin. Resin exists. Is it a deal breaker? I don't know. But people tend to want natural occurring oil. Again, there's no issue with it. Durability, structure. Now let's go through. We talked about what makes a no oil emerald special, and we talked about why emeralds would be oiled. Let's put them side by side. No oil emerald doesn't have inclusions that came out nice and perfect, and a emerald that is oiled, we should have almost equal durability, if that makes sense. Emerald that was oiled is filling up those cracks, and if a no oil emerald doesn't have those cracks, then almost they're both fine to wear. They'll have a very similar durability standpoint. What qualifies a emerald to be no oil? A lot of modern jewelers now, sometimes they think they're smart and they can beat the system and they can buy an emerald and they can remove the oil, and they just defeated the whole purpose of what that emerald actually needed. But emerald actually needed the oil. So now they took an emerald, and it's very included. The durability is low, and they're trying to sell it as no oil, but actually in theory that emerald needs oil. So what qualifies an emerald for no oil? Really, it's that 0.01% chance where a big emerald crystal, it gets mined out. I always say that the emeralds from 100 years ago, 80 years ago, 200 years ago, 60 years ago, I always say that that quality, that material is better, and you get better color and better quality from older emeralds. But even today, there is no oil. But you want an emerald that is just such a small chance where that emerald actually has almost no inclusions at all. It's so clean, it's so crisp from the start. It almost looks like it was oiled from nature, but it was never. It just has no inclusions to show, or very, very little, or they're microscopic. So that's what qualifies it. The appearance of them is going to be almost the same, a no oil and an oiled emerald. And again, if you see a no oil emerald ring that has too many inclusions, it needs to be oiled. I wouldn't even classify it as no oil. Now we have an emerald and someone is offering it as no oil. We want to prove it, right? Anyone could say my emerald is no oil. Great, let's prove it. So there's 3 laboratories today. And again, we want laboratory work for this for sure. These are going to be high value items. You don't want to just go for trust me. Trust me can go a long way, but we need these emeralds. We need, my opinion, one of these 3 laboratories. Start at my favorite, but it's just opinionated. AGL, American Gemological Laboratory. They're here in New York. They're here in America. Absolute authority. They're very tough. Jewelers get very frustrated. They say, I don't see the emerald. They say, we spot some residue. They're amazing. All the big auction houses use them. All the big jewelers use them. We use them. I'm not saying we're big jewelers, but maybe you guys can let me know. Then we go to the European laboratories. You have SSEF, which is based just in Switzerland. Absolute authority. They do unbelievable laboratory work. And the last one is Gubelin. Same thing. They're in Switzerland. They also have a branch in New York, and they also have a branch in Hong Kong. I've been to their office in Hong Kong. Actually, I've done classes with Gubelin. I really enjoyed it. Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald. They taught me a tremendous amount. Their office is actually in our building in 608 Fifth Avenue, which is really convenient, as in we just have to take an elevator ride to see them. I've never been to the one in Switzerland, but I'm sure it's just as beautiful as the other 2. What makes these 3 laboratories so significant? They have a lot of research. They have a lot of database. They have a lot of data. This is what they specialize in. They have a huge database certifying, and they're understanding the latest technology for certifying emeralds. They're understanding the latest resins, the latest oils. They understand all the tricks, all the schemes. You can't really bypass them. Certificate is too old. I recommend recertifying it. You want something, a certificate 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 years old. But if it's a cert from 1990, if it's a cert from 2000, 2005, 2010, it could have been re-oiled and then needs to be recertified. So you want to make sure that your emerald was never re-oiled in the process. You want a newer certificate, you want that confidence, and that's a totally fair request to say this certificate is old, I'd like to see a new certificate, and that is something that I recommend. So newer certificate's good. Same logic applies to other stones, because let's say rubies and sapphires, technology changes, and sometimes they change their definition of origin. Let's say if you want to see if your sapphire is this origin or sapphire that, or ruby this origin or that origin. So, and newer certificates are always good. Let's talk about the price comparison. What gives emeralds their value? I believe, me personally, color saturation and clarity are the two big drivers of value for a green emerald. You want it to have that medium dark tone and saturation of that green. You want it to be translucent. You don't want it to feel like a piece of marble. You want it to be clean in terms of clarity. Like I said, the less inclusion you see with your eyes, the better. Ideally, you want to see none. Always, maybe you'll see a little here, a little this, okay? But you want it to be generally clean. And then once you have the color saturation, and after that, once you have the clarity, then you can talk about size. Then, of course, the bigger the emerald, the exponentially more it'll be worth. But if it's a very, very big emerald and it's a very, very weak color, figure it's going to be the same price. If it's big or it's small, it's irrelevant, because a weak colored green emerald is just not desirable for anyone. If it's 1 carat, if it's 20 carat, you want really, when people think emerald, they want that green, beautiful green translucent color. Comparing the prices of two, let's just talk about a 1 carat. A really fine 1 carat minor oil Colombian emeralds could be very, very fine. Could be about $15,000 a carat, maybe $15,000 for the whole stone. I'm saying approximately. Some will say more, some will say less. I'd say very, very fine 1 carat no oil emeralds can be 30, 35,000 a carat for sure. If it's really, really fine, has the perfect, I want to say 10 out of 10 color, everything checks off the boxes. Like I said, the bigger the size of the emerald with those two factors, then it'll be more and more important. It has value to it. And you'll see a lot of auction results, and you maybe see no oil emeralds having a consistent value. Let's say put a number for it, 25,000 a carat. That's because it's an emerald, green emerald that never really hit its full potential. You're going to see them, I would call them very medium quality no oil emeralds, which exist. People still want them because it is no oil emerald, but it's not that perfect color. So it's not showing that exponentiality of the price. But once you get that fine color, it can go from 35,000, and then a 5 carat can be 65,000, and then a 10 carat can be 110,000. All the same quality, just moving up. Because once it meets the first two conditions of excellent color saturation and clarity, then the size is an amplifier. If the color is medium or dull or etc., then you're going to see very consistency in pricing. And just figure, is it no oil? Sure. Is it less desirable? Absolutely. Final thoughts. No oil emeralds have been traded for a very long time. They're not very known. The people who specialize in very fine gemstones are the ones who are selling them. You'll see the big jewelry houses also sell them. You'll see Harry Winston and Bulgari, Graf. They are looking to put in their showcases a 20 carat, a 25 carat, something that's 3 million, something that's 5 million, something very, very impressive. And that's what they want to show. If these jewelry houses have a whole showcase full of them, they will, but they're becoming much more rare and rare and rare. So let's talk about some significance. I would say they're for sure recession proof. In a good jewelry economy, in a bad jewelry economy, I've never seen Colombian emeralds with no oil go down. They're always more and more in demand. They're becoming rarer and rarer. People are buying them and keeping them in the safes. They're not a lot coming out in the market. I would say that they're recession proof. They are always in demand. When I started about 10 years ago till now, people still calling. I have a call for no oil. What do you have in no oil? We go to the shows, a lot of the European dealers, a lot of the American dealers, they don't even look at our showcases. They just show me, of course, besides the other two stones I mentioned, show me what you have in no oil. That's like a very big statement. That's saying that whatever I have in my showcase, they don't care. They want to see the no oil. I have collectors that they buy from us just those three, and they call me. They say, what do you have new in 123? And they collect them. They're not in the jewelry industry. They read about them. They found out about them. They like commodities. They like things they could put in the safe. They may have some very rare watches. They have some very rare gemstones. And that's one of the things that they very much look forward to collecting. Let's say, why do people prioritize no oil emeralds? I'd say that they're very wearable. The color, that green color is amazing. You don't want to wear it every day, of course, but you can mount it in a pendant. You can mount it on a ring. You can wear it from time to time. You can get some dirt. You can get some wearability out of it. In my opinion, from today, I've been seeing green emeralds is the most popular ruby sapphire emerald. So I would say that in terms of preference, people may prefer, if they, let's say, throwing a number, they have 50,000 they want to spend on a gemstone, they may want to put it in the green emerald because they just like it more. That's the truth of it. We talked about likability. In terms of monetary value, it's always sought after for jewelers, so the price will always go up. Auction houses are always looking for it. They're always asking for it, so they'll take it. If it's something good, they'll for sure take it. And with auction houses, it's a beautiful thing. You never know what price they could achieve. It's a very exciting idea. The importance of certificate. Do not buy a no oil Colombian emerald without a certificate from those three that I mentioned again. And just to conclude this all, what is a no oil emerald from Colombia? It's a emerald like anything else. It just has a very rare property, 1 in a million chance, where it's just going to be completely clean. It's not going to need any treatment. It makes it super rare, very desirable. We want to make sure that it has all the components we spoke about, if it's regards to the color of it, if it's regards to the clarity of it, and that is what's going to really conclude it. I just looked up 3 of the most recently auctioned off Colombian no oil emeralds that I saw on Sotheby's. I just went to their archives and saw it myself. And I'm going to start with 3 of them that I saw. I'm going to show you the picture. I'm going to rate them, and I'm going to tell you the price per carat and my opinion of it. So let's start with a 4.91 carat Colombian no oil emerald. Okay, 4.91 carat. It's an emerald cut. This is from December 11th, so it's very, very recent. It achieved 192,000 US dollars. That's $39,000 per carat. That is not a joke. That's a very serious emerald. It's not even 5 carats. It's almost 5. Okay, so let's talk about this emerald. I'd give this emerald a 8 out of 10 in regards to everything. In regards to color, clarity, maybe the depth, and maybe we want to consider the shape of it. So it's not even perfect. It could even be a little bit better. If it was a little bit better, maybe it would have been 65,000. Maybe it would have been 70,000. Again, things that I like about it, it's certified by HGL. That's enough paperwork for people all around the world who's bidding to say, wow, that is good. If AGL says no oil emerald, I don't have to second guess it. I don't have to ask for another certificate or anything. That is good to go. Also from the December 11th auction in 2024, it's a 6 carat 84 Colombian oil emerald. Okay, so it's a little bit bigger. It's an emerald cut as well. By the way, emerald cuts are the most desirable shape in green emeralds. Not to discount other shapes, people like them the most. Emerald cuts tend to bring the highest prices or tend to be more money than other cuts. It brought 138,000, $20,000 per carat. What I mentioned earlier, if the color and clarity isn't there, it doesn't matter if it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. The price tends to stagnatize and be the same. So it's certified by AGL, so we don't need to recertify it. We're confident in that. And I give it a 6 out of 10. It could use more color, it could use more clarity. If this 6.84 was a 10 carat or a 12 carat, I think it's going to stay the same 20,000. Maybe it'll even go to 18,000 because it's a bigger emerald that people don't care so much about. It has an oil emerald, so I don't see it really getting more than the 20,000. And it's so funny because that's the number I see in my head. Medium quality, no oil. That's generally the prices that they achieve, and that's what they're being sold for. Last one I want to talk about, the most impressive of the 3, 14.93 carat Colombian emerald cut, no oil. It's a very, very impressive size. That is something that's very, very difficult to find. That's a no oil of that size is like unheard of almost. You don't see them so much. And if you do, it's rare. It went for about $708,000. That comes out to about $48,000 per carat. The color is beautiful. The clarity is almost there. It's very, very big emerald. I'll give it about 7.5 out of 10. If the color was absolutely perfect and was a little bit cleaner, figure that it could even be double in the price per carat. It could be almost 1.4 million. But again, that's very impressive. It's almost there. Double certified. AGL and SSCF. Why do people double certify? Sometimes the bigger the stone, the more important it is, the more value it is. It's just more reassurance to have a double certificate. Sometimes it's really nice to see laboratories agreeing with each other. AGL and SSCF both agree. That's really beautiful. That's like no doubts. There's like no doubts about it at all. You know exactly what you're getting. You know you can put it in the safe. You know you can wear it. You don't have to double guess it. Oh, I think one certificate is totally fine. But if it's something that's 15 carats, 20 carats, that's something that's like museum quality that people would be so wowed about, it doesn't hurt to get a second certificate. So this is my analysis on no oil emeralds. I love them. I've been buying and selling them for 10 years. I would buy them back for my customers, the ones that I sold them for 7 years ago, for sure. I'm going to continue buying them. I'm going to continue selling them. I recommend anyone looking to invest in jewelry, not diamonds, none of this jewelry, invest in one of the best things you can invest in for sure, is a Colombian no oil emerald. My name is Benjamin Cortopor. Thank you so much for listening. And please like and subscribe. If you have any comments, let me know. If you disagree with me, I'd love to hear it. If you have a no oil emerald, please let us know. Email us, send us a picture, tell us on YouTube. We'd love to hear it. And again, thank you so much for listening. Take care. Bye.